Okay, so we are going to be doing chapter 17, problem 17-1 Bravo. I'm going to go ahead and make this a full screen. And I'm going to go ahead and label it 17.1b. This will be just like the test, just different numbers. Problem 17.1b. And what we're going to do here is the problem says what there, Jenny Lynn? What does it say?
Determine the cost. You want me to read it?
Hold on, I'll read it so everybody can hear it in YouTube land. Unless you want me to mic you up too. For time and all eternity, it'll be on YouTube. All right, so the following data relates to the inventory and purchases of item 125 for the Marshall Company during May. Okay, so I'm on page 594. And we have inventory coming in May 1st. We have some purchases May 10th, 19th, and 25th. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up how this all started off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just saying, hey, I've got in A3, I've got a description of what we're getting. I'm going to go ahead and tab over to, then I'm going to say number of units, tab. I'm going to actually leave a space in here, unit of cost, and then total cost. So the first thing that we have, right off the bat, what was our beginning inventory that they said that we got? Inventory. What date was it? May 1st. I love it. And how many units did we get? 250. Let me just make this a little bit bigger here. Now we can see that. And let me grab this, control, and click here. And then I'm going to just bring them all down to about 2. There we go. And what was the cost per unit? $20.50. So we're just going to write a quick little formula. It just says equals this times this. Ta-da! Now this isn't in dollars yet, so I'm going to go ahead and use my dollar style. Actually, I'm going to use comma style. I like comma style. It's kind of like Gangnam style, but it's a little less hardcore. Okay, now we're going to do purchases because we actually purchased some stuff according to this, right? And what are our purchases? May what? May 10th. May 19th. And May 25th. And how many did we get on May 10th?
180.
Okay, how many on May 19th?
130, 150.
Okay, now you could have put them all in together, but I like to kind of do all the same thing at the same time. Mm-hmm. So quantity first for me, and then unit cost for May 10th.
$20.25.
Okay.
And then $20.10. And then $20.15.
$20.15. I'm going to do the same thing where I highlight all those, and I'm actually going to go over here and say comma style. Set this thing up. And I could rewrite that formula, or I can just say copy, paste, paste, paste.
Oh,
so Control C, Control V. Just my mic on. And that way it just really quickly does it for us, and we have it right up there. So that's Control C to copy, Control V as in Victor to paste. And now what we want to do is we want to find out what's our total merchandise for sale. Total merchandise available for sale. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I should just zoom in a little bit so we're not so tiny. How's that? So how many total units do we have?
Oh, added all of those?
Yeah, we're going to hit sum. And it's going to miss this first one, so I'm going to just grab everything there. Sum C5 through C9. So we have 710. Do the same thing. Copy, paste, and paste. Actually, I don't need this one right here. We just want to know our total cost. Once again, I got to make it comma style. So we have 14,000. And you know what would be nice? Just to kind of drag over here. So I've highlighted A through G. And then I'm going to put a little underline under there. Oh, so cute. Now we can see that we actually have like a total. I like that. All right, so as of May 31st, what does the problem say? Determine the cost of the ending inventory on May 31st under each of the following methods. A, the average cost method. B, first in, first out. And C, last in, first out, Lifo. What let's see. When using the average cost method, compute the unit cost of the 2 decimal places, because it probably could go off into infinity depending on what it is. So we know that on May 31st, how many did we have left?
222 units.
Inventory on May 31st, we have 222 units. Perfect. Let's go ahead and just do our first one. A is going to be our average cost method. So I'm going to go ahead and say average cost method. I know I'm answering that part of this. How am I going to figure out the average cost? Do you remember?
You add everything and you divide it by how many numbers?
So average cost, I'm going to go ahead and just put it in here so I don't forget, is going to be this number right here divided by this number right here, because I've already done all the math. So we'll just say 14,405.50 divided by 710. That's what it is. So I'm going to go over here and go ahead and say, okay, we have 222 units. Each one is going to equal 14,000 divided by 710. So our average cost is at $20.29. And so our total valuation of those, how am I going to get that? How much are those 222 worth?
So you divide the 222 divided by 2029.
Well, we're going to multiply it.
Oh.
We're going to multiply out each one of those. So our inventory, our ending inventory is worth $4,504.25. So that is our average cost method. So our ending inventory is worth that. And so our cost of ending inventory is going to be, we have 222 of them. And I'm just going to say equals this because it's the same number. In fact, I'm going to say equals that. So that is the first method, average. Now we're going to go ahead and do FIFO, first in, first out method. So on this one, we are going to have 222 left over. So we know our ending inventory is 222. So first in, first out, what is going to be left over, I guess is the question. Where are we going to get those 222 from? Well, now we're talking about units. Which units are we going to have left over? Which units? Did you just swear at me? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So we have all these units up here. If we're using first in, first out method,
Oh, are we talking about May 1st?
we have 222 left.
Okay.
Okay. Which ones did we sell first?
The 190 units?
Well, no. If we started here, we started with 250 at the beginning. Those are our first ones we bought. Then we made another purchase. Then we made another purchase, and then we made another purchase.
Oh, so it's 710.
So 710 total units. So right now we have 222 left over. If we were selling our first ins, and those are our first outs, which ones were we getting rid of first? Like, what was the first one I sold? From what date? May 1st? Yeah, exactly. May 1st. Oh, well, I didn't hear you say that. I'm sorry.
May 1st.
Jenny Lynn is not an idiot, everybody on YouTube, so she's okay. So,
I was like May 1st.
so May 1st, yeah. So May 1st, so I apologize. May 1st is definitely what it is. Now, we have 222 left over. So which ones are those 222? Where do we find out which ones those are that are left? Remember, it's backwards now because this book is going to
May 31st.
May 25th, right? So we're going to come here now. How many do we have available?
Are we going to subtract the 22 to 1?
Well, we need 222, but how many do we have in May 25th?
Oh, 150.
We only have 150. So that's going to be our first one. We're going to say May 25th. So we're going to have 150 of them. And what was the cost per one?
2015.
Yeah, I'm just going to say equals this number. Nice and easy. And then I'm going to do that same little formula I do. I'm going to go copy it somewhere else and paste it in here. Nice and fast. I know I'm going to have something else, so I'm going to go ahead and paste that one right here too.
So
Cause
wait, this though, okay, so you multiply 150 to 2015, and that's equals 30,022, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's good. Now, how many more do we need?
3 more, or?
Well, we can say, I'll show you a math formula. We can say this equals 222. Actually, I'm going to make it this one up here. Equals 222 minus 150. So we need 72 more. Where do those come from? Exactly. So we're going to say this equals how much?
2010.
There you go. And it's already there to calculate out. Bibbity bobbity bacon. We're done. I'm going to go ahead and put that. This is from the May 10th purchase.
May 10th or May 19th?
Sorry, May 19th purchase. Thank you. Everybody's like, what? All right. And then we're going to say, so this equals, I'm just going to do a quick little auto sum here. 222, so we know that's right. And this is how much that ending inventory is worth. So this is the cost or the value of the ending inventory.
So did we not do May 10th? Or did
We didn't need to worry about May 10th because those were all sold because this was first in, first out.
Okay.
Okay, but good question because guess what we're doing next? I'm actually going to do a little trick here that I like to do. I'm going to copy this whole thing and paste it down here because I think it's going to work for us. And then I'm just going to go change this. We're going to make this C or Lifo Method. Now, I'm going to go ahead and delete these so I don't freak you out. We know that we have 222. And using last in, first out, which ones did we get rid of first?
May 10th? Wait, which ones did we get rid of first?
If it's last in, first out, which ones are the ones we got rid of first?
May 25th.
May 25th, perfect. So we have 222 left over. Which ones are left over? If it's last in, first out.
150 or 222?
Well, we have 222, but of which date do we have them left over?
May 25th. Right?
Those are the first ones we sell.
Oh, it's May 10th. Or is it May 1st?
It's May 1st.
May 1st. Okay, I'm confused with May 1st. And May
That's all right. Yeah, because there's a little space here.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
May
it's
1st.
It's the purchase, because like the
Well,
the
beginning inventory,
inventories-
yeah, already there. Or we purchased it at the very beginning kind of thing.
Right.
So how many do we take from this May 1st?
222?
Yeah, that's an easy one, right? So we could say this is 222. You're like,
Okay.
is that a trick question? It was. And what's the value of each one?
What are we looking at? May 1st or?
May 1st,
Okay, 2050.
2050. There's our number. So we're going to say from beginning inventory. And the cost of our ending inventory using LIFO is that. Now, if I was to say which one is the method that will give us the lowest cost or lowest value of our ending inventory, which one would it be?
The lowest? It would actually be May 19th, right?
No, which one of these methods, average cost, LIFO, or FIFO, would give us the lowest overall ending inventory cost?
It would be average.
Well, average is at 45. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
Oh wait, yeah, it's no, it's FIFO.
It's FIFO. There you go, because we can see that that number right there. Let me go ahead and put our little underline under it.
So wait, are we done with LIFO now?
Yeah, that was easy. We had only have 222.
Oh, okay, because it's first out.
Well, last in, first out.
Last in, first out.
So we got rid of everything but our original 222. Okay. And then what would be the greatest income amount that we would get?
LIFO.
Yes, so LIFO. So that would be the LIFO right here. Perfect. So that was 17.1. How much time do we have? We got a few minutes. Is it all right if we do another one?
Yeah, definitely. Go for it.
Okay, let's go for it. So let's do 17, was it 2? Is that what's on there also? I
Yeah.
emailed it to you. What's in the thing? All right, so we're back and we're recording here. Let me just see, do I have, oh, I don't. Let me pause it really quick. One more time. So this is going to be the test. And I just want to show you how close these are. Well, 17, 1, 2, 3, and 6. But if I come back in here and I show you this, what we just did, I guess I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit here so I can shrink it. We did this. Now, I would have to, like, I could highlight this all in blue and then go through and, in fact, I'll just do it. What the heck? Just to make it look right. Highlight it all in a light blue.
It's pretty cool how you have this template already done, because that way I don't have to like.
Yeah, then you don't have to go do all this stuff. And so what I just did was.
That's like what confuses me the most. It's like what information needs to be in there in order for it to like make sense. Because I would have had a hard time doing that.
Well, that's what makes me so nice. So I don't have that perfect yellow color, but I'm going to use this color. Okay. And you can see that these are just the things that you're typing in that template. So we just kind of recreated it. So as you look at this, you can say, okay, maybe it wasn't May 10th, it was January 6th. Aha! But when you came down here and you did this one right here, so the cost of ending inventory, you're going to use those same three things as they relate up above down here. And then, oh, look, you don't even have to guess when they came from because they're telling you on the test where they came from. Okay? So hopefully that just sheds a little light on how simple this can be. All right, so let's go ahead and do 17.1 or 2b. Okay, and this is 17.2b. All right, so this problem says the following data pertains to the Model M two-wheel trailers in the inventory of the Travelers Equipment Company during the year 2013. So we have inventory on January 1st, February 27th, August 16th, November 19th, and some ending inventory. Determine the cost of the inventory on December 31st and the cost of the goods sold. There we go. And the cost of the goods sold for the year ending on that date under each of the following valuation methods: FIFO, LIFO, and average cost. Now this time they kind of mixed it up. They changed the order that we're going to do them in, but that's fine. We can figure that out. And then what they're also going to ask us for is which one is going to be, or number two, assume that the replacement cost of each unit is $2,415. Using the lower of the cost or market rule, find the inventory amount under each of the methods given in instruction 1. So we're going to have to go do that cost thing that we were doing before at the end of this. So I'm going to go ahead.
Is it a group or is it an item?
Well, we're going to do it under just as in, no, not as a group or an item, but by valuation method.
Oh, okay.
By FIFO, LIFO, which one will we do if FIFO makes it worse or not.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and throw in a description here. And then I'm going to go ahead and come over here and say number of units. And then unit cost. And then total cost again. And I'm just going to grab these bad boys here really quick. So click, click, click. And I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. Grab this, this. I'm going to make them a little bit smaller. And our description. So the first thing we have, what do we have for beginning inventory?
20 units.
Beginning inventory, January 1, right? Number of units is 20. Cost?
Yeah, 2,580.
All right, so we got that. I'm going to go ahead and once again make my comma style. And I'm going to come over here and say this equals 20 times 2580. 51,600. I like it. Now we're going to do some of those purchases again. February 27th.
Units is 18.
Let's do all the dates.
Dates first. Okay, August 16th. And then November 19th.
Okay, we got all those. And I'm actually going to move those in like they're indented just a little bit there. So number of units for each one of those.
It's 18.
Okay.
22.
22.
16.
16. And the cost?
2,320. 2310, and then 2425.
Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and do my
Copy paste.
comma style. I'm going to copy this, paste, paste, paste. We're good to go. Paste one more right here because what we have for totals, so this is our total merchandise available for sale. It's going to equal all of those. So we're going to add them all up, and we got to get all. Oops, we got to get all of those. Auto sum that, and then we're going to go ahead and say our unit. We don't have to worry about that one, but this one is going to auto sum that also. I'm going to copy and paste it. Copy, paste. And it just does all the math. That's what I'm always telling everybody. Don't worry about the math. Excel will do the math. We just have to know what to do. And I don't know why I'm doing it in such a tiny little thing without zooming in, so I apologize. Now we can see it. All right, so total merchandise available for sale. I'll just drag that out a little bit. So we have that all perfectly there. Now the next thing we need to do is figure out the different methods. So this is the second half of this, or not the second half, but the second piece of this. I'm going to go ahead and do the kind of the same thing. I'm going to do description, and then I'm going to do number of units again. Then I'm going to do unit cost, and then I'm going to do ending inventory, cost, and then I'm going to do cost of goods sold. And I'm actually going to do you know how to make two lines in Excel? If I go here, watch this. If I just say Alt, Enter, it puts it on two lines for me. It keeps it in the same cell. I know, that's nice, isn't it? Zoop-a-lo! Let me just shrink this a little bit. There we go. Come on, zoom over. Okay. I like it. Let me just merge and center that thing. Okay, so on our description, the first method that we're supposed to do is what?
Fifo.
So A, Fifo method. Okay. We are going to say that first in is our first out, and how many units do we have left over in inventory? What does it say in the problem?
Okay, so first in, first out, right?
Yeah, but how many? It says we have at the bottom of that thing. It should
16.
16 units. So if we got rid of the first ones first, what are the 16 that are left over? What date are they from?
January 1st. It's first in, first out, right?
Well, that's the first ones we got rid of.
Oh,
So we're talking. That's what I was saying at the beginning. They're always going to confuse us because they're going to ask for what's left.
Okay,
So
it's going to be November 19th.
yes, so that's what's left is November 19th. So we're going to go ahead and say that this is the from November 19th purchase. And how many units do we have left over from that?
16.
16. All right. What was the cost?
2,400.
I'm going to say equals. I'm just going to click on that so I make sure I get the right number. So this equals this number times this number. And our COGS, we don't have to worry about that yet because what we're going to do is we're going to come down and say, okay, so that's what we spent now, or that's what we have left over in inventory. Now, if I was to say how much did all the inventory cost us that we sold, that's a cost of goods sold, how could we use this number to figure it out? How can we use this number right here? Well, we know what we have left over, so we can say this equals the total number we spent minus what's left over. And we get 144, 180.
So we don't go by December 31st, because that's the last one, right? Considering that's the last.
Was there a purchase?
Oh no. Okay, so as long as there's no purchase, then December 31st
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
All right, so let's do B now. Lifo method. So if we were to do the last in as the first out, which 16 do we have left over now?
Which 16?
If we sold the last ones in were the first ones that we sold, which 16 do we have still in inventory after we've sold all of them but 16?
December 31st? Wait, what? last
in,
out.
first out. So the last ones we bought are the first ones we're going to sell. And all we have is 16 left. So where are those 16? What's the value of each of those 16? This is a easy.
We're going to take it out from January 1st?
Yeah. There's an easy way to do that. Whatever FIFO was, let's flip it.
Opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite. So now it's LIFO. So this is from our from January, or from our inventory. Yeah, inventory as of January 1st. So we have 16 of those bad boys left over, and that's going to come from here. So we're going to say this equals this times this. And now, how do we get our cost of goods sold?
We subtract it from 100,000?
182,000?
Yeah.
Yep. Minus that. Wow, you're getting good at this. You're like, I got that.
Yeah.
So we have
It's
141,000.
just confusing me, like, on the FIFO.
And that's the hardest part, is just getting those two things down. Now, on your test, it's probably going to say from January 1st, so it won't be as hard. But we just need to understand that this book does do it confusing. Other books will ask us what's the cost of goods sold if we're using the Lifo method. And that makes a lot more sense because we go get all the ones that we did and not the ending inventory. So we have to kind of like take everything that we got rid of and forget about that for a second and get our ending inventory amount. Finally, our average cost method. So this one, excuse me, is going to say what's our average cost? Our average cost is going to be what?
76? Oh, no.
Equals. How do we find our average cost for all of these?
Cost. You add everything up.
Oh, like over here?
I thought it was units, no?
No. It's going to be this one
Okay, so average, okay.
divided by the total number. So the total cost divided by the total number gives us 2,407. Great. So our ending inventory as of this time we are going to do December 31st. How many units do we have left? 16. How much are they worth each? Is that 2,407? So how do I figure out what that total inventory is worth?
16 times 2407.
16 times 2,407, 63. And that means that our cost of goods sold for the year, COGS, was what?
Is it subtracting 38, to 100?
Yeah, we're going to get rid of this 182 minus 38,522. All right, so these are the big numbers that we're looking for here. I'm going to grab these. Say we were looking for those bad boys. I'm going to put them in yellow. So now that we've got those, let me zoom out a little bit so we can see everything. So now that we've got those, our last piece of this, or the second half of this problem, is part 2. And let me see, part 2. And that is that we have to do a valuation. Okay, so we're going to do a valuation is based on, and it's based on a couple things. So first we're going to do method, then we're going to do number, alt enter of, alt enter units, then we're going to do costs, then we're going to do market, then we're going to do valuation basis. This is all in the chapter if you want to go see how to do this. Lower of cost, alt enter or market. I'm just setting up this thing so we can do it. Got all that together. I'm going to go ahead and throw this under it. I'm going to grab this and go across. Merge center. So our valuation. First, what's our first method that we did here? FIFO. How many units do we have?
16.
16. So notice I just hit equals. I'm going to come up here and grab it. Enter. Comes down. What was our cost for each of those units?
24, 25.
Yeah, look at that. Now we don't actually want this one. We want the total cost.
Oh, total
So the
cost.
inventory cost.
13,800.
Okay. Now what is the market cost for those units? What does it say in the book the market value is right now for a replacement?
2,415.
Yeah, I'm going to actually just put that right here so I don't have to keep typing it in. So I'm going to say equals this times that 2,415. So now, based upon that, which one would we pick as the lower of the two?
Market.
Market. Okay, so we're going to say market. And how much is that? We're just going to say
38,000.
equals this. So that's nice and easy, right? That's not too difficult. Let's center this. So now based on LIFO, how many units do we have?
16.
Yep.
Cost is 28. Oh,
We're going to do the total.
total, which is
41. The market's going to be the same thing as before, so I can just actually just click here. Now, which one's better, market or cost?
Why is it the same thing? Is it because
Because this is the market
Okay,
value,
it's
so it's
time.
always going to be
Okay.
that. Yeah, so good question though. So now we're going to say equals, which one is it? Which one's cheaper?
market?
Yeah, so we're going to do market again. And why isn't that centered? Drives me crazy. And then our amount is going to be
Same.
that market. Perfect. So our last one
Average cost.
is our average cost method. How many do we have?
16.
What was the cost?
38,522.11.
And the market value?
The same.
Yep, it's going to be the same. So which one's less?
Less is cost.
Cost this time. Look at you go. So we're going to say equals 38,522.11. All right. So because there was a question at the bottom there, using the lower of the cost or market rule, which inventory amount will result in the highest net income for the period? Well, because FIFO and LIFO are both using the market rule, they're both going to have it. So they both show a higher inventory than the average cost method, so their gross incomes are higher.
So that's the answer to that question.
That's it.
That's cool.
Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually understand it.
Well, that's good. So I just want to show you one more time here. So then we're going to have in 17.2, same thing we just did. Okay, even down to this. And you're just going to type in. Now you can see the valuation basis. All you're supposed to do is pick one of these. You're going to say, oh, I want cost or market, right? And it'll tell us when we get over here. Should tell us, nope, that's the wrong one. So you'll know if you got the right one, okay? And then on 3, we're doing the same thing as is in the PowerPoint and is also in the book. In fact, 3 is found on page. Time the page to go to for this one. Total cost value, I think it's, oh, that's last in, first out. Inventory value control. Here we go. So you're going to want to look at page 582. And that's the one that's going to have 3, and then 6 is found on, I think it's the same thing actually. You're just going to put down the items. This one is based on specifics. So you're going to look and see which ones are left over, and you're just going to put those actual specific numbers in there. Let me see if there's one for specifics. A good example. I don't see one here. Hold on. I believe that 17 is going to be nice and easy, or number 6 is going to be very fast and easy. So you should be able to just figure out cost of goods sold on this one are just what you've sold. The rest is what's the value of everything on hand.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit pause.